Well, hello and welcome to my latest video. It's not about cycling this time. In fact, I've kind of lost interest in cycling. My latest thing, right, is walking. Right, now I did do a video, I think about a year or two ago, about how to walk. And if you're unsure of precisely how you should walk, you might find that as a beginner or an elderly person, you might find that video particularly helpful. Anyway, I've taken up walking, and one of the things that you need if you're going walking is you need some kind of, I think what they call an everyday carry. In other words, a bag that we used to call it. Now you might want to use a rucksack, you might want to use a kind of shoulder holster. Is it a holster? No, that's what you use for a gun. You might want to use a man bag, a woman bag, a child bag, a grandparent's bag, I don't know. Anyway, some kind of bag is necessary because you want to carry stuff, don't you? And if you're into walking, or if you're into hiking at all, you need to carry stuff. And you need to carry lots of stuff if you're going to do a proper kind of walk. You know, you want to go down the offie, get some papers or something like that. You want to get some kindling for your barbecue, or you want to go for like a long walk. I'm talking maybe half a mile, even a mile, something like that. You're going to need a bag. So this video is about this bag, which is called in the trade a waist pack. But I prefer to call a bum bag, and that's how it's better known. The Americans, and I do have some Americans, believe it's called a fanny pack. But if you know your office, you'll know that in England that tends to mean something slightly different. So this is the Osprey, and it's the Savu, S-A-V-U, 5 litre waist pack. Now, I did buy another one from a company whose name I can't remember, and I decided I didn't quite like it, so I sent it back and I bought this one. I haven't 100% decided if I'm going to keep it or not, but when I was looking around for a waist pack or a bum bag, I was looking on YouTube for information about it, and I couldn't really find what I wanted. So this video, for all of you out there who are looking for a bum bag or a waist pack, hopefully it answers the questions that I had. Now, this particular bag, let's see what it has first of all. It has, this is the bit that goes against your back, all right? And the idea is that you wear it kind of just above your hips, and it fastens with these closures, all right? So that closure would go around your waist. Now, obviously, you're looking at this kind of from the wrong side. So if I was to turn around, this is what you would see from my back. This is what you would see from my front. Does that make sense? I appreciate it's a little bit confusing. Now, it has, at the side bits, these little zippered pockets. Okay, so they're fairly small, but they are still probably quite useful. There's one on the other side, so if you're left-handed you could reach the one on your left, okay, and if you're right-handed you could reach the one that's on your right, because don't forget this waist pack would be behind you, and I suppose you could wear it on your front like that, but it would look like a rather uncomfortable codpiece. All right, now the bag itself has a main compartment which is here, and if I open it up like that, you can see that there is a couple of mesh pockets there in which you can put stuff, and there is also a little plastic hook there on which I guess you can put your keys or something like that. The zips have got these I quite like these kind of pull things here, so you don't have to grab the actual zip itself. And then you have this pocket here, which I suppose you could call a kind of security pocket. You could put your phone or something in there. Decent size, that is. It has a kind of handle here. I'm not quite sure what you'd use that for. I suppose you could carry it like that when you didn't have it around your waist. And then it has, and this is one of the reasons that I wanted it, these sort of pockets here, which are open at the bottom but have a sort of retaining strap base, if you like. And in those pockets you can carry bottles of water. But when I bought the other pack, you actually got the bottles with it, But when you took the bottles out, in other words, if you were going for a walk and you, for whatever reason, weren't carrying bottles, then you'd just have a kind of opening that wasn't really useful for anything. But with this, you can actually or effectively close up those bottle pockets, and then you can open them to put the bottle in. Does that make sense? I'm actually going to get a bottle so I can show you what I mean. So don't go away, just a moment. Okay, back again. So here we are. I've got a bottle. This is a typical cyclist's bottle, if you like, but runners obviously are allowed to use these as well. And as you can see, it goes in the pocket like that. So you can have one on that side, you can have one on that side, and you could therefore, as we say in the trade, carry two bottles. And I think that's quite useful. But then, as I said, if you don't want to use the bottles, you're not carrying, that kind of folds back on itself, if you like. So that's quite useful. What else can I say about it? It has a kind of little retraining strap there on which I guess you can hang a light if you were walking in darkness, I suppose. And then it has these various straps here that you can tighten or loosen, so they can create a tighter fit around your waist or a looser fit around your waist. This has got this kind of vented mesh panel, which I guess would help in dissipating sweat, which would be quite useful. And what is this? Oh, here's a kind of elasticated retaining toggle. So I've put my bottle in there, and I can put this retaining toggle on, which allows me to retain the bottle. So if, for example, I went for a hike up, is it called Helvellyn, one of those places in the Lake District, or Mount Everest, that's another place in the Lake District. Let's say I did a big hike up there, and for whatever reason I tumbled down, okay? I had a massive accident, I tumbled down, I went over and over and over, loads and loads of somersaults, a big gash on my head, etc., etc. But I've got the retaining toggles on my bottles. So assuming I'm still conscious, assuming I land on some kind of rough surface and not sort of scree or scrub. No, scrub is like bushes. Well, let's call it rocks then. Let's imagine I fall on rocks, okay? I'm badly injured, but I am still alive. And obviously I'm a little bit thirsty, my hands are dirty because they've been rubbing over the dirt. Then I've got my bottles and they haven't fallen out of my waist pack. So I think that's quite useful. The other thing I'd say about it is that I think it's a rather nice blue. Now, I have been known to rather overdo the blue stuff in my kind of possessions and wardrobe, but what the hell, I like blue. So if you don't like it, well, you can sod off, I don't care. Of course, you get this nice kind of label or tag, as I believe it's called. Now, the reason why I haven't removed the tag is because my mate Mark has been using a bum bag or a waist pack for quite a long time, and it's a low LOWE Alpine 5 litre. So I looked to try and buy that bag because I obviously want to copy Mark, and I couldn't find it. So I thought this is a kind of, I bought this instead. But then actually I went on my favourite website, Vinted. If you don't know about Vinted, you can buy sort of second-hand stuff. And I actually saw a low Alpine waist pack, which I bought, I think, for about £8 or something like postage. Now, it hasn't arrived yet. When it arrives, I will do a review of it. This was £70, which is quite a lot. I was happy to pay it, but I'm not quite sure I'm happy to pay it now. So when the other one arrives, if that's good, and I've got it for £8 plus postage, then I shall return this. And nice as this one is, it perhaps is a little bit big, a little bit extreme for the kind of walks that I do up to sort of Lidl or Waitrose. Occasionally I go as far as Marks and Spencer's, but in terms of the kind of big hikes, the big walks, the Helvellyns, the Pennine Way, the West Highland Way, all this kind of stuff that people do to show off to their mates, I ain't gonna do it. I mean, I'm 69, for God's sake. My knees are fucked, my shoulders are fucked. I don't want to carry a big rucksack. I ain't doing these long walks. I mean, I don't even know what is the point of a waist bag and a bum bag. I mean, just get an Uber. Just get an Uber, stop at a co-op and get yourself some water. You don't have to carry it. Anyway, that is the Osprey Savu 5 litre waist pack, aka bum bag, kind of review, kind of an unpackaging. Hope you enjoyed it, and I don't know what that sniff was for. If I need to sniff at the end of every video. Do it again. I've got hay fever. See you next time.